Welcome to this recording of Increasing the Power of Initiative. This empowering discourse was originally delivered by Paramahansa Yogananda to inspire greater self-mastery and dynamic will in the spiritual and practical realms of life. We are honored to share his divine insights and timeless wisdom with you today. Looking at the vast panorama of this world, at the crowds of humanity rushing hot haste through their span of life, one cannot but wonder what it is all about. Where are we going? What is the motive? What is the best and surest way to reach our destination? Most of us rush aimlessly, like runaway automobiles, without any plan. Dashing heedlessly along the road of life, we fail to realize the purpose of our travel. We seldom notice if we are on winding, devious ways that lead nowhere, or on straight paths that lead directly to our goal. How can we find our goal if we never think of it? Many people, though unaware of life's destination, nevertheless have enough initiative to determine what they want and to seek it. In connection with their personal desires and with changing their environment, they try to use the initiative within them to create what they want. What is that initiative? It is a creative faculty, a spark of the infinite creator within each one of us. Think of a dozen people you know. Aren't the minds of most of them like one-horsepower engines? Many people make similarly limited use of their creative energies. The whole process, the main activity of their lives, consists chiefly in eating, working, amusements, and sleeping. When life is so lived, what is the difference between man and the animals? One difference, psychologists say, is that man is the only creature that laughs. It is good to laugh. If you don't employ that power, you lose one aspect of strictly human development. Don't be like those people who, day in and day out, take life so seriously they're afraid even to smile. They don't enjoy life at all. Besides the unique ability to laugh, man has another superior quality, one of the greatest of all qualities: initiative. What is this mysterious faculty? America is a land of initiative in business, in applied mechanics. India is a land of initiative in spirituality. Initiative is the power to create. To create means to do something that nobody else has done. It is trying to do things in new ways and trying to create new things. Initiative is that creative ability which is derived directly from your creator. What have you done in your life with this divine gift? How many people really try to use their creative ability? Weeks, months, years pass, and they are always the same. They have not changed, except in age. The man of initiative is as glorious as a shooting star, creating something from nothing, making the impossible possible by the great inventive power of the spirit. Don't be a one-horsepower person. There are three kinds of people with initiative: the extraordinary class, the medium class, and the common class. And there are hundreds of others huddled together in a no-man's land of non-entity. Ask yourself this question: have I ever tried to do anything that nobody else has done? That is the starting point in the application of initiative. If you haven't thought that far, you are like hundreds of others who erroneously think they have no power to act differently than they do. They are like sleepwalkers. The suggestions coming from their subconscious mind have given them the consciousness of one-horsepower people. If you have been going through life in this somnambulistic state, you must wake yourself by affirming, "I have man's greatest quality, initiative." Every human being has some spark of power by which he can create something that has not been created before. Yet I see how easily I could be deluded with the mortal consciousness of limitation that pervades the world if I allowed myself to be hypnotized by environment. But if you say, every avenue of activity is already overcrowded, why try at all? You are allowing yourself to be hypnotized by a frustrating worldly consciousness. That is why in every walk of life, so many men, lacking initiative, remain unsuccessful. On the spiritual side also, many people passively follow the same path throughout life. Even though unsatisfied, they unthinkingly remain in the denomination to which their families belong. Or perhaps they were born Baptists, but a change of residence places them near a congregational church, so they become Congregationalists. Man ought to adapt himself conscientiously, according to his inner dictates, to all life's experiences. He should not act blindly. My guru, Sri Yukteswarji, used to say, "Remember this. If you have within you that faith which is truly divine, and if there is something you desire that is not in the universe, it shall be created for you." I had that indomitable belief in an inner strength, in the spiritual strength of my will, and I always found that some new opportunities were created to give me the things I wanted. The power of initiative within you remains undeveloped, unformed, unexploited, unused. That power is native to the soul. It has actually been given to all of you, but you have not used it. How can you acquire initiative? If you have not developed the power to think creatively for yourself, or the initiative to make your own way, your first attempt should be to try to improve on what someone else has done. The effort to make improvements on the inventions of others is the most common form of initiative. The second, or medium quality of initiative, is shown by people who write or invent something new, but of no particular significance. The best or most extraordinary quality of initiative is that which makes you stand out before the world in a blazing flame, like a Burbank or an Edison. Those were men of invincible initiative, spiritual initiative. Was God partial to these great men that they possessed this particular greatness? Were they chosen by divine will to take so much glory? No, they simply used their initiative to bring forth the greatness and the glory that is every man's birthright as an immortal child of God. Those who look for personal glory are never great. Inflated with pride, they lack any real support from God. Those who enjoy giving, whether it be strength, courage, music, art, are great men. Most people who have become great have been subconsciously guided. They had a tinge of greatness in their heredity that gave them an initial advantage. They used that hereditary advantage in their life to become extraordinary, to become outstanding. If you have a quality of greatness, you have been unconsciously led by forces of mind whose power enabled you to change your environment by reincarnating, and in that new environment to bring forth the greatest flowering of your initiative. In this sense, great men are born. But I know that great men can also be made or developed from seemingly nothing. There is a way to become great, to acquire this extraordinary power of initiative. By wisdom, by right training, and by practice of the self-realization teachings, you can develop that power of initiative and bring it into full play. The ones who made the struggle long ago are the ones who now see the fruition of their activities. You must discover the power you have. You must strive to overcome apparent impossibilities. You must be prepared to withstand the critical opinion of the world in order to succeed in a great way in any vocation. You must stay away from one-horsepower people in order to be original, to think differently, to speak a little differently, and be untiring in your zeal. The man of extraordinary initiative swallows up all difficulties, believing in his heart that he is right. With unflinching steadiness, march on your path, realizing that behind you is the infinite creative power. You must first get yourself into conscious contact with that infinite power. It is the source of all initiative, and when you contact that superconscious power, your conscious and subconscious minds also become filled with power. Long ago, I was apprehensive lest the little initiative I had developed would disappear quickly under difficult tests. I know now that within myself is that great infinite principle, which is the source of all art, all music, all knowledge. If that is behind me, I cannot fail. Whenever you want to create something wonderful, sit quietly and go deep in meditation until you have contacted that infinite, inventive, creative power that is within you. Try something new, but always be sure that that great creative principle is behind anything you do, and that creative principle will see you through. Every human being is meant to be guided by the boundless creative power of spirit. You have choked with doubt and laziness the fountain of creative power within you. Clear it out. Show dauntless determination in everything you do. Most people are content to feed themselves on dead quotations, to go on collecting the ideas of others without ever showing the individuality that is within themselves. What is distinctive about you? Where is the great uniqueness of God's power in you? You have not been using it. I was reluctant, at first, to become a teacher. The implications frightened me. A teacher has to be a shock absorber. The minute he becomes disturbed, he cannot help those who seek his aid. A true teacher has to love everybody. He has to understand humanity and to know God. But when Sri Yukteswarji told me that my role in this life was to be that of a teacher, I called on the Lord's infinite power to sustain me. When I started to give lectures, I made up my mind that I would speak not by book learning, but by inner inspiration, holding the thought that behind my speech was the inexhaustible creative power. I have also utilized that power in other directions, to help people in business and in many different ways. I have used mortal mind to reflect immortality. I did not say, "Father, do it," but I want to do it, Father. You must guide me. You must inspire me. You must lead me. Do little things in an extraordinary way. Be the best one in your line. You must not let your life run in the ordinary way. Do something that nobody else has done, something that will dazzle the world. Show that God's creative principle works in you. Never mind the past. Though your errors be as deep as the ocean, the soul itself cannot be swallowed up by them. Have unflinching determination to move on your path unhampered by limiting thoughts of past errors. Life may be dark, difficulties may come, opportunities may slip by unutilized, but never within yourself say, "I am done for. God has forsaken me." Who could do anything for that kind of person? Your family may forsake you. Good fortune may seemingly desert you. All the forces of man and nature may be arrayed against you. But by the quality of divine initiative within you, you can defeat every invasion of fate created by your own past wrong actions and march victorious into paradise. Though you be defeated 100 times, be determined that you are nonetheless going to conquer. Defeat is not meant to last for an eternity. Defeat is a temporary test for you. Naturally, God wants to make you invincible, to have you bring into play the almighty power that is within you, so that on the stage of life, you can fulfill your high destined role. How are you going to find out what role suits you? If we all want to be kings, who will be the servants? On the stage, the parts of a king and of a servant are equally important if the roles are played well. You must remember that is why we are sent into this world with differences, with desires for various vocations. God meant the world to be a play, a huge spectacle for our entertainment. But we forget the stage manager's plan and want to play our part as we see fit, and not as he desires. You fail on the stage of life because you are trying to act a part different from the one divinely designed for you. Sometimes the buffoon attracts more attention than the king, so no matter how obscure your role, play it conscientiously. Tune yourself with spirit, and in this earth drama, you will play your part well. You are not meant to suffer. Those who play tragic parts must realize that they are but enacting a role. Never mind which part you have to play. Always strive to act it well, in harmony with the direction of the stage manager, so that your little role will enlighten others. Realize that an aspect of the infinite power of spirit is performing through you on the stage of the world. Infinite spirit creates new success. Infinite spirit does not want you to be an automaton. Attune yourself to cosmic power, and whether you are working in a factory or mixing with people in the business world, always affirm, "Within me is the infinite creative power. I shall not go to the grave without some accomplishments. I am a God-man, a rational creature. I am the power of spirit, the dynamic source of my soul. I shall create revelations in the world of business, in the world of thought, in the world of wisdom. I and my Father are one. I can create anything I desire, even as my creative Father. Thank you for listening to this recording of Increasing the Power of Initiative. May the bold teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda awaken the divine creative force within you. Let your thoughts become luminous, your actions purposeful, and your will unconquerable as you claim your birthright as a child of the infinite. Remember, you were not made for mediocrity. You were fashioned to reflect God's greatness. Peace. Amen.